Hey there, and welcome to 40 Something and Fabulous with Penny. Today's episode is Cooking in the Kitchen with Penny. So, I am preparing a meal for my family and my parents, and I'm gonna pretty much be winging things today because I can't find the original recipe that I used. My mother requested this herself. So, I'm gonna show you really quick the things that I have here that I may be using for this recipe. Okay, it's going to be a chicken casserole. I also have some frozen peas in the, let me grab those so they're all out here. Some frozen petite peas that will also be used in it. I've got real shredded Parmesan cheese, angel hair pasta, a rotisserie chicken just to cut down on the time to prep. Plus the rotisserie chicken has such a delicious flavor, it'll be great in this. I have some Gruyere cheese, some cream cheese, heavy whipping cream, cream of mushroom soup, cream of chicken soup. I may not use both of those. I have some extra chicken just in case I feel like I need it. It's canned chicken. Then I have some fresh mushrooms and some prosciutto. And I think I said cream cheese. So these are all the items that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to use some seasonings and things, but again, I'm winging that. So we'll just see how things turn out. Okay, so here we go. We've got everything ready to go. I'm actually going to start out by sauteing the mushrooms just in a pan on the stove. And then I will take those up and I'll start creating my sauce. Again, I'm going to do that kind of just by, just starting to throw things together and try to recreate from memory what I did. This was 3 years ago I made this meal and I can't find the recipe. I usually always save my recipes, especially if everybody likes it, but I cannot find this recipe anywhere. I do remember it contained the chicken, the pasta, the mushrooms, the peas. I just don't remember exactly how I made the sauce, which is a big part of it. So I'm using the Gruyere cheese, the Parmesan cheese, the heavy cream, sour cream, cream cheese. Gonna see how that all comes out. I'm usually pretty good when I'm winging it, but this one's a bit of a stretch even for me. So I'm gonna use the mushroom soup for sure. I'm almost 100% positive. I'm definitely gonna use some sour cream, probably some cream cheese, heavy cream, and then some cheeses and some seasonings. So back in just a bit. I'm actually getting my mushrooms prepped. I've got some butter. I got about a half a stick of real butter. I don't use none of that fake stuff. I use full fat sour creams, and I dropped a mushroom. I can't find it. I use full fat sour creams, cream cheeses, things like that. I feel like it's healthier for us than this reduced fat crap and fat-free and stuff that they've come out with because of all the stuff they put in it to replace the fat and make it taste tolerable. So it's a personal choice. And I'm going to give these a rough chop just so they're a little bit smaller, but I'm not going to dice them up really super fine. So I'll do that, and then I'll saute them in the pan, and then I'll be back in a bit. That I did that really rough chop on the mushrooms, but if I'm stir frying and I see any that are too big, I just kind of chop with the spatula. They're super easy to chop through. And again, I always use fresh mushrooms instead of jarred mushrooms just because in my opinion the fresh ones taste so much better. I ended up having too much butter in the pan, so I took some out. I'll probably add a little bit more. Looking at it, probably needs a little bit more added in. But they're getting a nice cook on them. It's going to make them taste absolutely delicious. I'm super excited to try this recipe, crossing my fingers that it comes out yummy. Okay, so I have my water going for my pasta. I have the sauce, I think, has come together beautifully. I put about a quarter cup, probably more like 3/8 of a cup of sour cream. Again, full fat sour cream. I ended up not using the cream cheese. I don't think I need it. I had some heavy cream. I did make a roux with some butter and flour, and then I added the heavy cream, and I cooked that for a little bit first, and then added the heavy cream and got it, really nice and good consistency. And then I poured more half and half in. I put my mushrooms in there. I also ended up using some half and half, and also some salt, pepper, actually regular light salt, fresh ground peppercorns, and some Everglades seasoning, which is actually unique to Florida. You can get it on Amazon. It's a blend of spices, and I actually use it to cook quite a bit because usually besides salt and pepper, that's all you need. It adds a great flavor to things. I'm shredding some of my Gruyere cheese. If you've never cooked with Gruyere, it is really, really yummy. It's got a bit of a sharp flavor like cheddar. But I don't know, it's just better to me. I love my cheeses anyway, so I will experiment with different cheeses. I'm going to end up doing a whole box of pasta. I will probably use a 9x13 casserole dish, so we'll see if that ends up being too much. My sauce is a really good consistency. Hang on, let me stir it really quick. It's a really good consistency. It's thick, but still a bit liquidy. And it's going to bake up so nice in the oven. I'm going to mix some of the cheese in with the sauce, but I'm going to top the casserole with that as well, because everything's going to be cooked already anyway. My chicken's already cooked. My pasta will be cooked. All I'm going to need to do is heat everything and kind of let it, blend together, and the cheese melt on top. So that's all that's going to need to happen in the oven. I'm going to do that at a 350-degree oven, probably no more than 10 minutes. Again, you could add the cream cheese, and I'm not done yet, so I may end up sticking it in there. I'm going to cook my prosciutto just a bit. Prosciutto is a cross like between ham and bacon, and I started to use bacon, but my mother specifically remembered that dish I made had prosciutto in it, which I know exactly what dish she's talking about. I didn't save the recipe, which I could kick myself for. But this Gruyere shreds up so nicely. It's a firmer cheese, so this has actually sat out for quite a bit, and it's still nice consistency, similar to Parmesan, but not quite as dry as fresh Parmesan. So, and I can't forget my peas and my rotisserie chicken. Mushrooms are already in. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna cook the prosciutto just a little bit to give it some little bit of crispiness, bring out the flavor and stuff. I'm going to put my Gruyere up. I probably have enough of that. And it's starting to come together. Okay. I'm going to add that, again, I don't measure anything. I'm doing it all by taste. I start out with good intentions, and I almost always modify recipes based on my taste and whoever I'm cooking for. I'll let them sample as well. I am going to use the whole 4-ounce package of prosciutto. I do remember the recipe called for the full 4 ounces. And these are so paper thin that 4 ounces, I mean, you kind of need the 4 ounces to go throughout the meal because it's super thin. Again, you can use this right out of the package. You don't have to cook it. I'm just going to cook it a little bit, like stir fry it in the pan to give it a bit of crispiness. And I lost my train of thought. I just stuck my finger in mushroom sauce, mushroom soup. I honestly can't remember. I'm pretty sure I just used it like it comes right out of the package the last time I did this, or the first time I did this. The only time I've ever done this. But like I say, I am going to do it so it crisps up a little bit. The slices are separated because, again, they're so super thin. They're separated by this plastic stuff, so don't eat that. And prosciutto is pricey. The 4-ounce package, I want to say, was $5 something. So you could get a whole pound of bacon for much cheaper. The prosciutto is just a little fancier than bacon. It has a different flavor too. It's actually very good. It's not something I use a lot, so I don't really mind the extra cost. And plus, it's a birthday dinner today, so it's a special day, special meal, so not a big deal. The fat in this is what's going to really give it a lot of flavor. They cut these little tiny pieces that keep coming off on the paper all by them little selves, causing me some grief here. And I think it's just going to go beautifully with this Gruyere cheese. I don't remember the cheese that was in the original recipe. I looked some recipes up and I saw some similar things, but nothing that really stood out that that's what it was. So like I say, I'm just winging it. And I'm going to interview the family peeps. after it's over and see what they think. My dad doesn't remember the dish, so he can't really compare it to the past one that I cooked, but my mother does, so I'm definitely going to get her feedback as to which one she remembers being tastier. Thankfully, I have this on video, so I can kind of recapture what I did. So I'm going to finish prepping this and pulling this apart, and then we will get it all kind of blended together, ready to go in the oven. Okay, back on really quick and say that I think I've decided not to pan saute the prosciutto, just because it has a really nice consistency. Like I say, I don't normally work with prosciutto. I think I just used it in that one recipe. The flavor too, I think that oven baking is all it's going to need, because you can eat it right out of the package anyway. It's got a very good flavor, nice and salty, consistency of cross between bacon and ham. It's cross between the two. So, all right, it's time for my pasta to come up. It's all going to start coming together. Yay! I'm going to talk to you guys while I'm deboning the chicken. Don't judge me for my fancy shorts here. I put on something that was comfortable since I was coming over to cook and do laundry. So the you could totally use canned chicken for this, or you can boil your own and debone it. Like I say, I chose rotisserie just for the time factor as well as the flavor. These rotisserie chickens we just grabbed from our local deli, and they've got great flavor. They're so good. It's a little pricier to do it this way, of course, but again, it's a special birthday dinner, so that's not a big deal. I'm just basically pulling off really big chunks of meat so I can shred it up a bit more before I add it to the casserole. I'm going to layer in my noodles. I'm going to pour my sauce over, kind of let the sauce soak down into the noodles, and then I will start putting the chicken and the prosciutto in there. Again, I did not end up cooking the prosciutto. I just decided not to after I tasted it and felt the consistency and everything. I decided to leave it as is, because again, you can eat that right out of the package. It's not like, it's more like ham in that regard, that it's ready to go, because they cook it before they package it up, because it's so super thin and it's very flavorful. As thin as it is, you wouldn't think it has that much flavor, but it's really good. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown again. The sauce consists of a roux made with flour and butter, heavy cream, salt, pepper, Everglades seasoning, which is specific to Florida, so you'll have to get that on Amazon if you want to try that. Fresh sauteed mushrooms blended into the sauce after I sauteed them and drained them a little bit. I added some half and half, and about 3/8 of a cup of sour cream. I eyeballed it, so that's not a specific measurement. I don't measure my stuff. The only thing that's got a measurement here is the prosciutto, 4 ounces. I even eyeballed the cheese. I may end up shredding more, who knows. I also used a can of cream of mushroom soup in the sauce. It's pretty thick, so I think it's going to turn out very well. So, and the green peas will go in as well. Okay, back in a little bit. I will add also that you can totally melt the cheese down into your sauce. That is totally up to you. I'm doing it this way because I feel like that gives you more like little chunks of cheese throughout the casserole. And I'm a cheese fan big time, so I put my noodles into a 9x13, but it is not deep enough, so we had to get out the Rachel Ray pan. This is what we do our dressing in every year for turkey and dressing. So, all right, I have a good bed of noodles down there. I may end up doing a separate serving of that as well in another pan. Let's just see how this all pans out. I don't know how much sauce I'm going to have. This sauce is super thick. Well, I say super thick. It's not super thick. So good. I think I did that so amazing, especially with no recipe. Now I'm going to just kind of mix it in a little bit. I hope I have enough sauce. You know, when you look at the pan full and you're like, wow, that's a lot of sauce. Which, I guess if I had to, I could probably make some more really fast. I just don't have any mushrooms to put in another batch, but that's looking delicious. Let me get all this going and get a good consistency, and then I'll pop back on. That saves you guys some time. Let me know if you prefer to see like the whole process or you like the breaks in between for a shorter video overall. Okay, let me know in the comments. I'm totally sure that there's probably a better way to work with prosciutto. Might have been better off just to take it a slice at a time, tear it up, and put it in like that. Because now that it's not so cold, it's really sticking together. But I don't want big clumps of it in there. I want it throughout the casserole, so I'm separating it. It's a little on the tedious side because I have a whole pile of it there. But I've got plenty of time too. Yeah, plenty of time before the parentals get home. The husband and son ran to the flea market to kill some time, so I'm here by myself. And the parents always love it when I come over and make them lunch. It doesn't matter what I make. They almost always love it. There's been a few that aren't on the redo list, but very few, maybe one or two. I cook very differently than my mother. My mother's a very like old-fashioned 50s, 60s, 70s kind of housewife. They grow a lot of their own vegetables, so she cooks very differently than I do. I don't know. I think that in another life I should have been a culinary expert or something, because I was not any kind of chef at all until I hit my 40s. But I've really kind of came outside my box, and sometimes I shock my parents with the stuff that I serve them. And sometimes my dad will be like, "What is that?" But he always eats it and loves it. So, and my husband talks about my cooking all the time. Now, we got married when I was in my 20s, and I did not cook back then. Again, I said I didn't even really cook till I hit my 40s. But he's loving it now. He says I do excellent in the kitchen. So I actually like the sizes that I cut this prosciutto into. It's enough that when you get a bite of it, you're going to really taste it. But it's going to go completely throughout the casserole. I probably need to start blending my chicken in there too. I haven't finished tearing that up. I went ahead and poured some cheese in there. I'm going to add some more sauce and pasta, and then I'm going to mix it all together so that it's really good and incorporated throughout. And everything gets good and coated, and then I've got some cheese to go on top. I'll probably need to shred a little more to go on top because that's not a lot. And it's only the Gruyere that I was putting on top, but I may grab some of that Parmesan. I did the Parmesan and Gruyere throughout the casserole, so I may do that on top as well. The Parmesan just gives it a little more of a bite, but honestly, I think the Gruyere is a little more flavorful than the Parmesan. The Parmesan was in a package. The Gruyere, you saw me, I fresh shredded that, so that could be the difference. Because Parmesan is usually very flavorful and salty tasting. I think this is going to turn out very well. I think everybody's going to love it. Except maybe my 14-year-old son. He's not a big fan of any of my cooking, honestly. He's got a very picky palate. So I'm going to see if I can get him to try it at least, though. Alright, I'm going to pause this while I am shredding chicken. I still have a bit more to do, and I've got to separate more of this prosciutto and get it in the dish, but we're almost ready to go in the oven. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, I should have showed it before I put the cheese on top because it looked so much prettier. But you can see those pretty green peas in there, the chicken, the mushrooms, the pasta. It just looks delicious. I can't wait to see what everybody says. I ended up not using these few noodles, so I had boiled a whole box of Mueller's angel hair pasta. I very little bit left. I probably could have thrown it in there. I ended up doing a little more sauce. I figure I'll put it in a small bowl on the table, and that way if anybody else wants theirs a little saucier, they can add to it. But we are ready to go in the oven. And I am actually a good 30 minutes ahead of schedule, so that's pretty awesome. I'm going to cover it with tin foil, stick it in the refrigerator, and wait a little bit, and then pop it in the oven probably about 10 minutes before everybody's due to arrive. That way it'll be nice and hot and yummy, and we'll see what everybody thinks once they get a chance to sample. I do appreciate you guys watching. I do want to say that if you have not subscribed to my channel and you would do me the great honor of doing that, that would be greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you like. You can read in my description. I'm going to be doing several different videos with a concentration probably around cooking because that's what I love. we're actually about to move in a place where we'll have a gigantic kitchen. So I will actually set up a little filming section in there and be able to do much more. So please subscribe and follow along, and we'll see what everybody thinks after they get a chance to sample this. We just finished lunch, and my dad is going to give a review on the meal.
Pennie fixed dinner for us today, which was great. And it was kind of a late birthday dinner, and I had told her before she had fixed something similar to this, and I told her that's what I wanted for my birthday. And she come up with her new idea, which was just as great. I enjoyed it very much, even so much.
Go ahead.
Even so much that I had her to write the recipe down for me.
Because she's going to make it herself.
I'm going to make it, and then she's going to want to know, was it as good as mine?
You'll have to save me a sample and freeze it so that when I'm here again, I can try it. Okay, here we go. You can leave your sunglasses on.
Okay, what did I eat?
You had chicken, mushroom, prosciutto, casserole.
Okay, what she just said is what I ate, and it was very delicious. It's not the kind of food I'm normally used to, because my wife cooks the regular way. But that stuff was good. It's not something I'd want to eat 3 times a week, but once every few weeks is good.
Every few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your review.
You're welcome.
And it was unbiased, correct? I did not coach you. I did not suggest what to say or anything, correct?
Well, you didn't tell me what to say, but I mean, thank you for the $25.
Okay, just tell them what you think about it.
I thought it was delicious. The spaghetti was cooked just right. It's very flavorful.
Angel hair, so
Angel
that just so they know,
Okay.
spaghetti's different.
Okay. But yeah, I would eat it again. It was delicious.
You will be eating it again tomorrow for lunch.
Oh.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. So today's experiment was a success. Everybody loved it. My Uncle Bruce was also here, but I didn't ask him to interview because I figured he wouldn't want to be on camera. So if you have not liked our channel and subscribed, please do so. We would greatly appreciate it. More videos to come. Thanks for watching. Bye.